Good evening and a warm welcome to one and all to today's seminar on futurist computing. Shri P.Nageswara, Commissioner of Customs Central Excise and Service Tax, presently Additional Director General, RTI, National Academy of Customs, Excise and Narcotics, Hyderabad. He also worked as an Assistant Commissioner in Mumbai Customs House, as an Assistant Commissioner in Hyderabad Commissionerate and Deputy Commissioner in Kolkata 1, and he also worked as Executive Director, AP Industrial Development Corporation, Hyderabad, and he also worked as Managing Director in AP Handicrafts and Almond Watches, Hyderabad. Also worked as Additional Commissioner in Visakhapatnam Commissionerate, and he also worked as Commissioner in Tirupati Commissionerate and also in Hyderabad Commissionerate, and he also worked as Commissioner in Kolkata. And I would like to welcome today's Chief Guest, Shri P.Nageswara Sir, IRS, Additional Director General, National Academy of Customs Excise and Narcotics, Hyderabad, onto the dais. Thank you, sirs. Now I request today's chief guest, Shri P.Nageswara Sir, to speak a few words on this occasion.
I can understand why Madam said few words. I think you're all tired. You brought your kids. I think they are here since morning and afternoon. Therefore, I'm sure more than the kids, the parents are tired. So I don't want to take much of your time. At the outset, let me first congratulate Shri Gowthami Smart Schools for having called me for this function. And you may be wondering why a government officer is here vis-a-vis something we talked about computers. The relevance, let me tell you, I also happen to be an engineer, an electronics engineer, and currently I'm in a teaching institution, teaching our officers. Therefore, I find there is some relevance. I think I'm not able to speak in Telugu. I wish I would do that because most of the mothers are here. They would like to be addressed in Telugu, but నేను తెలుగులో మాట్లాడలేమంత బాగా నన్ను క్షమించండి. అప్పుడప్పుడు మాట్లాడతాను so that it will wake you from the slumber which I think you are having right now. First of all, let me first congratulate Surya Prakash Rao garu for having set this school, and I was told that it is running for the last 26 years, and the correspondence, his son Mr. Sunkara Ravi, and the other son, Mr. Mallikarjun. And I think they have done a yeoman service in the education sector, especially in Rajahmundry. And incidentally, I happen to come from this place. I come from a village called Addl, near Kottapeta, near Amalapuram. So I am a local person here, though I have not worked here, not studied here. So whenever I come to this place, I feel I am at home. And a lot of my relatives are there in Rajahmundry. కాబట్టి నాకు ఇది హోమ్ కమింగ్ లా ఉంటుందమ్మా. మీ పిల్లల్ని చూసాను నేను. I could interact with most of them, and the type of enthusiasm they have got in, and the type of the way they explain. In fact, నేను తెలుగులో మాట్లాడుతున్న వాళ్ళు ఇంగ్లీష్లో రిప్లై చేస్తున్నారు. None of them spoke to me in English. I was trying to talk to them in English, but in Telugu, but they're not responding. They were talking in English. So that credit should go to the school. So what is happening these days is that I'm also a parent. My son is in class 10th, he's just finished the school. Now, if I bring him here, I'm sure he would not be able to match with any of the 7th standard student here, with respect to what course they have been doing. So the type of enthusiasm, the type of thinking they have got, నేను చూసాను వాళ్ళని, వాళ్ళ థింకింగ్, వాళ్ళ aspirations చాలా బాగున్నాయి. And I think you are all proud parents for such children. And దానికి ఈ స్కూల్ వాళ్ళని ఆపర్చునిటీ ఇచ్చింది, ప్లస్ వాళ్ళని ఆ లైన్లో పెట్టింది. దానికి మీరు శ్రీ గౌతమికి we should be very thankful. Because this sort of teaching is not happening in Hyderabad. Let me tell you, if all may be thinking Hyderabad is a lot of things are happening, nothing is happening. What is happening is in small towns like Rajahmundry, etc., Vizag, a lot of good things happen. In Hyderabad, if I have to take my son to some place, I have to go 10, 15, 20 kilometers. That itself takes time. We are all fortunate to be in a small town. I'm not saying Rajahmundry is a small town. It will be belittling my own place. But it is a place where things happen. And incidentally, I don't want to be political on this issue. All the investments in Hyderabad came from East West Gowthami and Krishna and those coastal Andhra, because they had the investable surplus. Unfortunately, they have invested in Hyderabad, which is not with us anymore now. Hopefully, we'll build one capital, and why not Rajahmundry itself? I am not professing that it will be the future capital of Andhra Pradesh, the residual Andhra Pradesh, but I am sure, and I am very glad, and I am very envious of you that you have a place where this sort of teaching is being done, which is not being done in Hyderabad. So all the credit should go to this Gowthami school for having started this program. And the man behind this, Mr. P.Nageswara, had interacted with him. He studied in the best schools in Andhra Pradesh, went to NIT Suratkal, went to AISC Bangalore, went abroad, worked in very big companies, and there a lot of opportunity for making money is there, but he has come back. And asked why, what motivated to come back? He said, you have to give to the future. Past I cannot give, I have to give to the future of the country where he went from. So he has a son, who was told he's in class 4th. He wants him to grow socially as well. There are other issues if you are abroad. America that's okay, for a moment fine, for some money fine. But the culture which this great nation has, it will be lost. So that culture has to be preserved, and that's the reason why he is here. I'm sure he would be getting huge amount of money if he had stayed back there, but he has come back. One, to ensure that his children gets the social requirements which are available in this country, and second, he is putting all his efforts into bringing something which he has learned there, and to ensure that the children of this country also are benefited by that. In fact, I was interacting with him. He said in US, I think all should know him, up to the high school level, the government takes care of the education. Beyond that, there's a big wall in front of them. They cannot go to the undergraduation because it's very expensive there. Now, I was wondering why they are doing this, why the government of US is not realizing that. He's given me an answer today. He said that they want the people after the 12th to be into the economic system of the US, so that they create income, they generate wealth there. At the cost of they are not learning the higher education. He says, out of them, a few of them later, after they do the job, earn some money, and bright ones will take up further studies, and the result is you get people like Bill Gates, etc., which he has shown. That will be only 10%. Now, unfortunately, I think the school doesn't follow the CBC curriculum, it is following SSC curriculum. In fact, I've been toying with my son whether to put in CBSE or SSC. I landed up continuing with CBSE, and which I feel in retrospect is the wrong thing I've done. The reason being, the CBSE curriculum has been very much diluted, and consequently, we are discussing in the afternoon, he was mentioning that they try to ape the American system of making it easy. So what we are landing up is that we have children at 10th, 12th, and they will be not fit for a higher education because their skill sets, their mind is not allowed to grow. Consequently, they take up small jobs. So we are following that model, which is not a successful model in the US. So you are very fortunate that your children are in the school, you are in the SSC curriculum. I'm not making a comparison with both of them, but there are certain defects which I think the government is trying to address. The reason may be because the CBSE curriculum is all over the country, and they normally ensure that the rural population in the country also will be able to get some score, which is not very bad. And maybe because of that, they have done that. The second thing what I want to advise to all the parents is that I have a nephew who is about 3 years old. He picks up the smartphone and then he will go to any application and he'll play the games, which I cannot do. That's fine. That means he's got the IQ. But let's divert that IQ somewhere else. By swiping, okay, fine. You should also know how, if by swiping how it is going there. The scene behind. So I think most of your parents should tell them, okay, swiping is fine, you're getting all the applications, you're trying to play games, etc., etc. But what is the effort which went behind? This hardware part of it. It's not that easy, as Mr. Gopal was mentioning. That I'll tell you an example. If you have to make a PC of the size which we have today, I'll give a comparison with Hyderabad. You need a building as big as this hall and water equivalent to Hussain Sagar to cool the system, because that will be a valve system. That was a big generator. And now you are getting into a small PC or maybe a smartphone, which may require a huge space for having, if you adapt the old technology and the amount of heat it generates and the water required to cool that. So we are in a transition phase, which we have seen. I've seen the old ones, the radio with valves, and now the nanotechnology. The technology is growing with nanotechnology. The voltages have gone down, so the heat levels have gone down, the computing abilities have gone up. So we are using that. Now, are we making our children capable of doing further? By swiping, they do that only. They will not learn what is behind it. That is what we need to ensure. That sort of temper has to be the scientific temper, which our great Prime Minister Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru has mentioned. Scientific temper is very much important. That is missing. In fact, other day I was driving a car, my son was sitting with me, a car in front of me. I asked, "It's something written, CDRI and ABS." I said, "What is that?" He said, "I don't know." What is common rate recognition, and the other is automatic gate system. These days, the children may be shy to ask somebody to clarify their doubts. But today, they need not be shy, because just go home, take the iPad, go to Google and find out. Not only will you find out the meaning for that, the total explanation is there. And that is how you can learn. Please interpret that. Let them do, not play games, but do this all. Otherwise, there is a problem. I'm not able to, I'm telling to every one of you here, but I'm not able to implement with my son. The reason is, so it is for the parent, as I was mentioning, it's not the technology, the social and the belongingness which you give to the child, and how much you can be with him, be like a friend. It's easier said than done. And it's very difficult to teach your own children. You can teach somebody else. In fact, a lot of people come to my house, I teach them, I give them examples. My wife keeps telling me, "You are very good for others, not for my son." Right? So this is the difficulty we have. Other thing, like for example, with regard to scientific temper, let me tell you. Now, you're driving a car, mothers are driving these days, children are sitting in the car, you change gears. Now, does any other child, grown-up child, maybe 10th class, 8th class, they should ask the question, why are you changing gears? That answer you should have. Why? Because you want to, when the car is in motion, Newton's law, you need less of energy, right? Torque is not required, so you increase the speed by changing gears. Why clutch is used? Why an accelerator is used? This is, let me an example, one of my cousins who passed engineering, and I asked him why there are 4 gears in the car, and said because there are 4 wheels to the car. That's the answer I get from an engineering student. That's practical. So let's not train our children in that manner. So it is the parental interest, parental guidance, and parents should take interest in what all is happening. These days I found the children not observational. The bomb is falling next to him, he will not bother. It is not on me. So that attitude should take on. They should be very inquisitive. Some bore is being drilled next door, making a lot of sound, a lot of water is coming, then you should ask what is this? Why they are doing it? Casing some put into the well. Why the casings up there? How does it work? Unless this sort of scientific temper and inquisitiveness is given to the children, it's very difficult, and they will be just, I should say, morons in the future. They should be, and all are intelligent, I'm very sure they're far, far intelligent than our generation. But the only thing is that we need to harness them properly and ensure that they go into the right track. And I'm very glad that Mr. Nandapu, and I think I should congratulate and be envious of all of you who have a person like Nandakishore who left everything and he's available next door, coming here, teaching people and introduce this program. I found a lot of children here. I've gone across, I think we have seen the children who have done the projects. And one more thing, one observation I've seen, I think the parents will agree. We have got projects done by the class 7 through 10th. The type of projects with the 7th grade students are far superior than the senior students. I'm trying to look for why. I want to find out a solution. I thought maybe as they grow different in age, the other allocations are many. And second thing, maybe their academic curriculum is not making them to put more effort into that. As Mr. Nandkishore was mentioning that they would like to introduce this program which is simpler. And today's world, it should be starting much earlier. He was saying that they will try to introduce from class 3rd to 6th, as opposed to what it is now, 7 to I think 9. If they kept them early, then certainly they will do much better. With these words, and I think you were also mentioning about the advances in medical field. So today computing is required everywhere. Because there's now genome technology has come, a lot of computing takes place, all your medical diagnostics go through the computer level. Chemofluorescence, fluorescence, all this tests are through that system. There's a chromatography there, and these are all computer driven. Most of the sciences these days operate with computing. The computing is just a basic thing now. So that if you introduce at a very early age, the scientific temper, the computing attitude would ensure that the children in future would have that sort of attitude to explore. And explore. Unfortunately, we are in an era where we have reached the plateau of discovery and exploration. Very difficult to find new things now. So if you have to find new things, you get a Nobel Prize in something new, we have to do something very, very different. But in this world, there are a lot of unexplored things. We find every day some new thing coming out. We have physicists, we have chemists, we have nuclear physicists, many of them. And in fact, with so much of technology, I think I'm at a loss. Why MH370 could not be traced? We're talking about Star Wars, we're talking about XYZ, and we know that every inch of the world, every inch of the planet is explored and can be mapped. And why are you not able to find it? That shows the technology is still not set, not come to a stage of saturation. There is technology requirement, and you were mentioning that, I'll tell you one example. As parents, because you are parents of children who are going to be in employment in the next 10 years. So what is there for them? And let me tell you, I worked as a Managing Director of Industry Development Corporation, and also Managing Director of Agriculture. The manufacturing sector in India is not picking up, or it has gone down. The reason is that we have allowed a lot of, I'm a customs man, we have allowed a lot of imports. Because it's a buy or make decision. If buying is simpler, is cheaper than making it, better take the course of buying. In the process, you're killing your local industry. That's what's happening. But we are also signating to certain international agreements like GATT, etc., where you cannot put tariff barriers or import restrictions for bringing in. Earlier, safety means all consumer items were banned for import into India, but today they are all allowed. As a consequence, this industry is facing a problem. Mr. Nandkishore was giving a very silver lining. What he mentioned is that a lot of things is being done in US, where I think you are all aware, US was the country which has pioneered in automobile industry. We have Ford, we have Chrysler, we have Chevrolet, we have a lot of big cars, those days. They are basically fuel guzzlers. They were not giving much mileage. It was taken over by the Japanese who developed smaller cars with less fuel consumption. Now they are, I think I was told, there is a program going in the US where this sector is being looked into and then new areas are being set up so that the manufacturing sector comes back to US. And what is there for India? And I think Japanese are aware. Japanese have the habit of stealing things. They take the technology and then develop on that. All your Sony and all, they took the technology from the US and then they developed on that. Similarly, they would like to do that when the technology for robotics for manufacturing happens in US. goes to Japan, and Japan is put with India, therefore it will come back to India. So we have an advantage there, that's what I'm mentioning. So your children would be working in the area of robotics, because manufacturing will ultimately turn out to be robotics. Therefore, please prepare them for that. That needs computing. That is what the seminar is all about, and that's what Gowthami is doing by introducing a course very early, catch them early. And I'm sure if you bring a 10th class student from anywhere in the part of the country, they will not be able to match with the children here. So you are all proud parents to be here and having admitted your children here. I'm not canvassing for Gowthami, is not related to me. But still, I'm seeing this as a parent, I tell you. So please we are very blessed, and I wish I was in Rajahmundry to put my son in the school. With this, I will not take much time of yours. Wish you all the best, and let me congratulate all the students who have done the projects. My kudos to all of them, my accolades to all of them, and the parents who are behind them. I was told that they were only given a few lectures of 15-16 lessons, and thereafter they developed on that. That shows their creativeness. That is what this course is all about, and awareness, and also, and one best thing about in this part of the country, this part of the state, I'm not finding them speaking in their mother tongue, they speak in English. I'm not saying they should forget English, Telugu, but English, that communication, that language is very important to do well elsewhere when they grow big. None of them spoke to me in Telugu, they were refrained to speak in Telugu. And their English is very good. Please, that the credit goes to parents and the school. As a parent, I failed again. I think I don't want you to fail. Please take care of your children. Thank you.